What's up, everyone? Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
You're listening to episode 4 of Words and Stuff, a video game podcast by two video game brothers who love to talk about video games. I am your co-host, and I am joined by my brother, the young yet beardless St. Nicholas, Micah. How you doing today, Micah?
Sup? I'm doing pretty good.
Feeling festive?
Yeah.
Guess what?
Sure.
The Steelers won.
Yeah. So
yes, they did.
This is a nice present.
It's a beautiful, very terrifying Christmas present because that game came down to the wire. Oh, that was horrifying, but freaking Antonio Brown does it again. He's the best. Okay, this is not. I said this is a video game podcast, not a Steelers
okay, we're
podcast.
switching. It's going to be football.
Yeah,
now.
this episode's going to be entirely football related. No, I'm just kidding. Whew! I'm just still pumped up about that game. That was pretty crazy.
It was.
How was your Christmas, Micah?
It was great.
Yeah?
Yep.
That's all, just it was great?
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite gift? Better be something I gave you. No, I'm just kidding. What was your favorite gift?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, you gave me a nice, controller charging dock for the PS4.
Yep.
So that's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
It snaps on there real nice.
Cool.
Fancy.
Nice.
I didn't have a charger right now anywhere because my friend accidentally took it. And I haven't had it back, so it's probably like
Gone
somewhere
forever.
just gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say that. Or
You got a game for me too, don't you remember that?
Yeah, I got Ratchet and Clank.
Yep.
So
I expect you to have that game beaten and a review up by next week.
maybe. I have a lot of games though. So
Nah, it's good. I'm
it's
just
exciting.
playing. What have you been playing lately?
Believe it or not,
Yeah?
I was playing SimCity Build It on my phone.
You mean you weren't playing Pokemon or Monster Hunter on your 3DS?
Nah, I didn't get to play a lot, even though it was a long trip.
Mm-hmm.
I was with my nephews in the car, so they weren't fully prepared. They brought their tablet and then a DS, so
And they
kept
have
asking for
attention
me.
spans of like ants.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's
they want to be doing something.
one second they're making a flip note, the next second they're playing like Mario for like 3 seconds. So, yeah. So
What do you think of SimCity? Build it or whatever it is.
Well, it's a phone game, so it sucks, but at the same time it's fun and addicting.
Yeah.
But it's not actually like a game. It's kind of like Pokemon Go in a way, where you don't actually like.
It's a light version. It's not the legit, real, meaty version.
You just play it like randomly, and it's like, oh, this thing takes an hour to be made when it's like a vegetable or something, and then you just wait that out while you're doing something else.
So it's fun-ish, but not legit though.
Nah.
Yeah. I played a bunch of Mario Run just on the car ride. It's fun. It's a fun game. I already talked about it as much as I could last time, pretty much. It's definitely a lot of fun. I mean, it is still a phone game or whatever. You can tell it's a mobile game, but it's cool. It's got some fun stuff. I think we'll talk about this a little bit later because there's some news items regarding that game. But I definitely enjoy it. Yeah. What else have you been playing? Anything else, or is that pretty much it? Because it was a busy Christmas week.
I feel like I was just playing something.
I played Recore for like 45 minutes, a trial of it.
That looked awful, right?
It's not that fun. The gameplay was super duper repetitive, like already repetitive. And then there was even one part where I'm fighting like this first boss thing, and basically at one point you're supposed to use this grapple thing to like rip the core out of this boss, but like as you press the button to start it, then this little text pops up in the top left corner that tells you like your exact instruction. But you're also trying to press the button, and like it's a good like 3 sentences worth of text, and by the time you finish reading it or trying to read it really quick, you already failed at whatever you're supposed to do. So then you have to like beat him up a bunch and get into a position where you can take the core again, and then that little piece of text pops up again, and then I'm trying to read it real quick, and then I failed because I couldn't read it fast enough, or I read it but I couldn't like really grasp what it was saying because I'm trying to speed read it. And press the right button and whatnot. And then every time I failed, she'd go, what was the exact thing she'd say? It was super annoying. She'd be like, it's healing itself. We have to take the core. It's healing itself. We have to take the core. It's like over. Yeah. I heard it like 30 times. I'm like, I don't even want to touch this game anymore. I already want to be done. It's super annoying. And then and you were watching me at one point, like 2 enemies popped up in this desert while I'm just trying to go back to her like home camp area. And as soon as they popped out of the sand, I'm just like,
you just sighed.
yeah, just a sigh, and you're like, oh, that means
that's
it's not that fun, is it? No, it's not that fun. It's a pretty lame game. It's sad that the creator of Mega Man made a super terrible game in Mighty Number 9 and a super average game in Recoil in 1 year. It's like he hasn't made anything in a little while, and he hasn't just made Mega Man. He's made plenty of other awesome stuff, or at least had his creative touch in those other games, and these games are just dumb.
Maybe he just doesn't have the right resources or something.
Review recap!
Oh.
Yep. So I'm going to do another review recap, guys, because this is another game that I've been playing. I've been talking about it a bunch, and I probably will eventually stop talking about it, but it was a lot of fun. I wrote a review for Hyper Light Drifter. Would you like to hear my review for Hyper Light Drifter, Micah?
Yes.
Okay. If you guys don't know, I just kind of write reviews every once in a while for GameGuideCentral.com. I'm trying to get back into writing them a little bit more often, at least once, once a month or twice a month if I can get to it or whatever. I got a lot of busyness in my life, but writing reviews is really fun to me. Whether it's a game that's great or terrible or somewhere in between, I really like getting like deep into the game and being really analytical with it, and it's a lot of fun for me. Anyway, here is for the review recap. I always read the opening paragraph and the closing paragraph, because that kind of best gives you guys the general gist, and then I'll tell you the score of it. And if you want to read more, go to GameGuideCentral.com. Bunch of awesome content there. That is my friend Swagger's website, which I help out with reviews and stuff like that. Anyway, here it is. Hyper Light Drifter is an old-school 2D action-adventure game with RPG elements that harkens back to the original Zelda on the NES. Funded by Kickstarter, the game smashed its original $100,000 goal and raised over $640,000. The game is Alec Preston's game under the development name of Heart Machine. Preston has had a terminal heart condition since birth and wanted to tell his story through his game. Hyper Light Drifter is an incredible game that feels simultaneously new and refreshing, yet somehow classic and nostalgic. Every aspect of the game is developed with love and care, and it's bursting with personality unique to itself. Few games leave me thinking and feeling the way I do about Hyper Light Drifter, and fewer still remain in my heart and mind for years to come. I believe Hyper Light Drifter is one of those few treasures in gaming. That's the opening paragraph, and then there's a bunch of meat in between, and then the closing paragraph is... Overall, I can't say enough about how remarkable Hyper Light Drifter is. The gameplay is perfect. The story is cryptic and mysterious in the best ways possible. The art direction and music is unique and beautiful. Every aspect of the game is married to itself perfectly. Oftentimes I play games that don't agree with themselves. The world and gameplay and story and art direction just don't fit. There's always something that just doesn't feel right. Hyper Light Drifter is that extremely rare game that somehow manages to pull everything together to create a game that fits perfectly in itself. Every aspect of the game feels like it belongs and fits perfectly in its world. I haven't played a game this magical for a very long time. Hyper Light Drifter looks and feels and sounds and plays like a game from a lost era, almost as if the 3D world of gaming never happened, and this is what 2D games have progressed to. In fact, Hyper Light Drifter feels like a dream, or possibly a nightmare, like the type of dream you wake up from, wondering and wishing if it could be real, but thankful that it is not, but wishing you could somehow return. That's my review. And I gave it a 10. What? Wow. A perfect 10. And the pros to it are flawless gameplay, gorgeous art style and music, engaging cryptic storytelling, perfectly executed tone and feel, and the cons are none.
Wow.
And I want to also say that I've only ever given one other game a 10, ever. I'm not somebody who's going to throw out 10s like crazy. The only other game I've given a perfect score to was... Child of Light, which was a phenomenal game in my opinion, one of the best games I've ever played. And the other game that I would have given a 10 was The Witcher 3, but Swaggers from GameGuideCentral.com, he reviewed that game instead, but awesomely enough, he also gave that game a 10, so it was perfect, because we both agreed that game was just incredible.
Yeah.
So basically, if I were to say of the last 3 years in gaming, 10 games are, only 3 games are a 10. And that would be this game, Hyper Light Drifter, Witcher 3, and Child of Light. So I'm not just throwing 10s around just because, you know what I mean? You know, if you stack this game next to something like Witcher, yeah, it doesn't really look like it belongs in some ways. But as the type of game that it is as an old school like throwback type game that feels a lot like Zelda, and as a emotional impact type game. Even throwing the fact that the understanding that the developers has a a terminal heart condition kind of opens up the story in even more of a way that you're like, wow. It's just incredible. The music's phenomenal. The feel of it. I love games that give you feel. It's just there's something that you can't even explain. I hope that my words, I kind of read it a little bit sloppy there a couple times. I'm hoping that the words in my review were able to flesh out some of those things, but still all the words in the world, unless I'm like Dr. Seuss or William Shakespeare, somebody who's just incredible with words, like all the words that I know still can't explain the feels that some games give me, like A Child of Light and like this game. And it's just, there's something about this game that caught me. I didn't want to stop playing it. The gameplay is perfect. Like, there's no complaints. When I thought about it more and more, I'm like, I think I'm going to give this game a 10. When I started the review, I'm thinking, like, in the 9s for sure. By the time I finished the review writing it, I'm like, this is a 10, because I can't think of a single thing to complain about this game. It was just a quick, like, 10-hour game. I can continue playing it more if I want to, because there's a lot of hidden stuff all over the place. It's awesome. If you guys have not played Hyper Light Drifter, go play it, especially if you're into old games. You get plopped into this world after this kind of very cryptic beginning opening, and then you can just go wherever you want, like the classic Zelda. You can go north, south, east, or west. You can tackle things in any order you want. Don't get pushed away by some of the difficulties, and it's not difficult in combat. Sometimes understanding where to go is a little bit difficult, but that's the fun of it. It's exploring this world, not knowing what's going on and not knowing exactly where to go, but just moving and feeling this game. It's so good. It's so good. It's such a good game, and that's why I gave it a 10. Like I said, I've only ever given one other game a 10, and if I reviewed Witcher 3, it also would have been a 10. Those are the only games in the last 3 or 4 years to me that would be a 10. This game is freaking awesome. I just kind of ranted about it for a while, but it's awesome.
Yep. Okay.
Nothing to say? I mean, you didn't play it other than watch me, but
No,
I just felt like I just talked forever.
Great.
I'm like catching my breath, and you're not even going to help me out by like filling in the blank while I like catch my thoughts again. Thanks.
Yep.
Very kind of you. Okay.
We should get one thing we missed real quick. Get out the boring stuff, just where you can find us.
Oh yeah, you're right. We are on SoundCloud, Words and Stuff Podcast. We're on iTunes, or Apple Podcasts, whatever the heck you want to call it. Also Words and Stuff, or Words and Stuff Podcast. Not on YouTube yet because we're lazy and it was Christmas week, but we're going to put that on YouTube for sure this week. Yep. And if you guys have any questions, which we will read one of the listener questions later on in this episode, wordsandstuffquestions@gmail.com is where you would go for that. And there you go. That's all the boring stuff. Thank you for reminding me of that.
No problem.
Okay, speedrun time. If you guys didn't know what speedrun is, basically we're going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like 7 different topics today. Every single topic we read through real quick, and we say our thoughts in 3 minutes or less. And if we don't, then we get Santa Claus to run each other over by reindeers, or stab each other with candy canes, or something other that's like festive, and we kill each other.
Festive
pretty much.
deaths.
If you go over the 3 minutes.
Drown in eggnog.
Festive deaths. It sounds like a really bad band name.
Yeah, it does.
Oh man. Okay, so topic numero uno. I promise I'm better at speaking Spanish than that.
Yeah,
that's like
sure.
That's my white boy pronunciation of it. There are some rumors for a Superman video game. Actually, I totally forgot. I don't have my timer yet.
Your timer on.
Yeah, hold on. Go ahead, Micah. Fill in the blank with some things.
With that game?
No, just with
entertainment?
Yeah. Time's up. I got the timer.
Yep.
Okay. There is a rumor for a brand new Superman video game, which sounds dumb until signs are pointing to the fact that it might be Rocksteady making this game. If you guys didn't know, Rocksteady is the brilliant game developer behind the Batman Arkham series. They made Batman Arkham Asylum, and then Batman Arkham Knight, and then somebody else made Origins because that game just wasn't quite as good. And while they were working on Batman Arkham Knight, did I say that already? Yeah, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. 3 very, very, very good games. Arkham Asylum is my favorite of the 3.
Yeah, for sure.
probably in that order. Then it's City, probably, and then Night. But that doesn't mean that they're not good. I mean, I think speaking of reviewing games, I think I reviewed Night, and I think I gave it like a 9.5. Love that game. They definitely had a couple little things that weren't perfect, but still an awesome game. So what do you think, Micah, if they were to make Superman? I mean, some people are saying like they should just make Batman games forever, but at the same time, it's nice to see somebody change it up. For example, we really like this studio. Help me out here, Micah. Metroid Prime and Donkey Kong Country. Retro Studios.
Retro.
We really like Retro Studios. They made Metroid and Prime games for a while, and people were like, they should just do this for forever. And then they switched over to making the Donkey Kong Country series, and we love Tropical Freeze.
Oh yeah,
Tropical Freeze is the freaking bomb.
One of the best.
One of the best games, for sure. So, what do you think about them jumping off the Batman bandwagon? As I see you have your Batman socks on that you got for Christmas, and I'm rocking them too, along with Batman slippers.
I think it would be great if they did that.
Yeah.
I think that would instantly probably make it a really good game. Mm-hmm. And they're good with like story stuff, so probably right off the bat they'll have some kind of story to make it actually make sense that you're Superman and that you'll still be in danger. You know what I mean? Like they'll put some kind of like kryptonite type story in it.
Yeah, well they'll make it some way where it's not just like Batman. I mean, Superman's just kicking butt and he's completely unstoppable. They'll think about
but you still have some kind of.
I mean, it might be cool if they made it like.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it might be cool if they made it like a period piece and they made it be like in the 40s, like the 40s version of Superman that, you know, a little ray by a sciencey guy or a rocket shot out of a bazooka still hurts him. Because he's Superman, so bullets bounce off, but he's still not. So it might be interesting that way. Because for a video game, what do? He's Superman. He's just nothing can touch him unless like freaking Darkseid comes out of the sky or whoever else or Bizarro or whatever other dumb Superman villain they got.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, I think they do some kind of kryptonite thing. Someone gets a hold of it, starts like mass producing it somehow, and like everyone's
shooting like kryptonite guns.
Kryptonite.
Yeah, that might be cool.
Yeah, so I could see that being a cool story.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm interested in that for sure. I wouldn't be interested in the game, but since Rocksteady's making it, it sounds good. Cool.
Yep.
Shut up.
You can turn it. Okay, there you go.
I tried to. I kept pressing the wrong button. All right, next topic. Let's go do this right here. Okay, so there is some analyst reporting, some number guys. Reporting on the video game industry, kind of some projections say that two things. Nintendo Switch will be sold out all the way through September, similarly to how the Nintendo Wii was originally, where you couldn't get, I mean, we didn't get ours until the summer and it came out in November. So they're saying that it'll be sold out for like 6 months. Yeah. That's one of their projections, which is interesting. I want to know your thoughts on that one. Uh-huh. And the other one is that they are saying that the Scorpio, Xbox's new console, will be priced at $399. What are your thoughts on both of those things? Let's start off with the Scorpio being $399. What do you think about that?
That's real cheap. Mm-hmm. So if it's really as powerful and great as they're saying and what the rumors are,
teraflops, Micah, like 3 of them.
I don't know what that is. But
3
that
teraflops.
Really
that's like $133.33 per teraflop. That's insane.
That's crazy.
I don't even think that's correct. Was it 3 teraflops? I don't know.
Flop doesn't make it actually sound that strong.
No, because it's flops.
Floppy.
Flops is negative.
Yeah, floppy disk.
If a movie flops at the box office, it's a failure.
Yeah. But yeah, that's real cheap. That's the price of the PS4, right? From the beginning.
Yeah. At the beginning, the PS4 was $400 and the Xbox was $500.
Yeah. So that sounds great. Right
now they're both $250 to $300 range, especially around Christmas. But going forward, they're probably both $300 like as of now. So this would be like $100 more than the other version.
Yeah. The Switch then. I don't know. I mean, that would be great. I would hope so. But you know. We'll see. So far from like games we know, it doesn't look like they have a really strong lineup of games in the beginning.
The Switch?
Yeah.
Mario.
That's all we know.
Mario
and then it feels like a lot of ports.
What do you think this? What do you think? We'll talk about this
later.
A
rabid. What is it?
Raymond Rabbids with Mario or something like that?
Yeah.
Looks. What the heck is that about? We'll see.
That doesn't seem like it.
No, it's not going to be a system seller.
I want anyway.
But let's be honest, Mario's a system seller, And if they do the things, if they do the things that we were kind of complaining about before with bringing some of the Wii U games and stuff over, those will still move some systems for sure.
Yeah.
All I know is I'm gonna get my pre-order in ASAP because we want to get one day one for sure.
Uh-huh.
So, anything else with those two topics?
I think that's it.
Cool. We had 20 seconds left. We win. Next topic.
Good job.
Super Mario Run is flying off the digital shelves. In the first 4 days, there were 40 million downloads, and now in this first week, it has reached $50 million. Nintendo announced today, which was 2 days ago now. So that was like right about a week, that the Super Mario Run has been downloaded 50 million times since its launch on December 15th. They announced this via Twitter. It is the fastest in App Store history to hit that milestone, topping the charts in 140 different countries. What do you think about that?
I think that's great. I don't like how unfair like articles and people are being
it costs $10.
Yeah, they're like it's a bad decision on Nintendo, but look at them, they're making a lot of money and they literally just
who
broke
knows how
records.
many people
good for Nintendo.
I don't know how many people of those 50 million downloaders actually ended up purchasing it as well, but at least they got their hands on it. They got to play it, and if they enjoyed it, $10 is not a lot of money, guys. Like, I don't understand why people are complaining about this. Just go to McDonald's and get lunch, and you just spent $10.
Yeah.
Why are you complaining about a video game for $10
that you can have forever, basically?
And I play casually the Clash game because I have some friends and my girlfriend likes to play it. It's one of the only games she plays. So we are in like the clan together, and it's a fun thing to do. Blah blah blah. I've already put over $10 on that game from like
people are gonna put more
when
than
there's
$10.
like a sale in the stupid store that it's like, open this chest and get 5 million gazillion gems and coins for $10, and I'm like, whatever, sure, I guess I'll do it. I've already spent more than that on that game. Like, not having microtransactions is such a good deal for us, the buyers, and it's such like a bad thing for Nintendo. Like, it would be better for them to have microtransactions, but they're doing the goodwill thing. They're being nice.
They're a great company.
Yeah, they are. And it's like, I don't know why people are complaining. It's so backwards. They're thinking it's like, oh, I want it to be free so that I can spend like $200 in microtransactions. No, just play the game for $10. It's a fun game. You'll get a lot of time into it, especially if you have friends in the game as well. It's got a really cool like online feature type thing with the Toad Rally thing, and then it's got a single player type thing that you can definitely dump over 10 hours into if you just were gonna even pay $1 an hour. Like, it's worth it. So people complaining about it need to shut up and stop crying. Sorry, but not sorry.
Boom.
20 seconds to go, but whatever.
We said what we had to say.
Dumb people. Okay. Next topic. Okay, Mike, have you ever heard of the game Eternal Darkness?
Yes, a little.
Do you know what it is?
Yes, a little.
Go ahead, tell me what it is.
It's a early GameCube game, right?
Yep.
Kind of like dark.
Yeah, it does have darkness in the title.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Eternally darkness.
Yeah, it's a little eternally dark.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't sell very well, right?
No, it was a cult classic, one of those games. Maybe you can compare it to like Psychonauts on the Xbox, on the original Xbox. Some of those games that like people talk about still, and they were like popular, but they didn't sell well. So if games don't sell well, sorry, you don't get sequels. But it was a psychological horror. If you look at it now, if you look at screens and stuff, it looks pretty ugly because it was originally designed for the 64. And then it was like a late game, so it looks like barely better than 64 graphics. Like, it does not look like it belongs on the GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox OG era.
Yeah.
But it kind of looks like it's more like a PlayStation 1 Nintendo 64 game. But it was like, as much as people praise like Metal Gear for doing weird stuff with like Psychonauts being like, I see you've played Smash Bros.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa!
Did you say Psychonauts?
Isn't that what I mean?
Psychomantis.
Psychomantis, because I said Psychonauts earlier. My bad. Psychomantis being like, put your controller down. You're like, how do you know?
Yeah.
But this game did that, but like times 10. They did all these weird, freaky things that mess with you. And it was like a psychological action horror game. Really, really fun. So I'll say all that to say that Nintendo has filed a trademark application for Eternal Darkness. So could this mean that they're going to try to bring the series back? Could it mean that they're going to remaster the GameCube version? Could it be that they're just going to give us the GameCube version as Virtual Console?
Uh-huh.
Of those three, I would hope that it is remastered, because if they just give us the GameCube version, I think people are going to be like, ugh, because it looks hideous and it plays not that great. I know you recently played the original Resident Evil games. It's kind of similar to that, where it might still play okay-ish, but not really that great.
Yeah.
So it might be better to like touch up a lot of things and then give us that remastered, and then be like, do you guys like this? And if it sells well and people like it, then they can pick it up and like use it as a good hardcore M-rated series going forward, because they don't have any of those really. So it might be nice to have something like that. So I think it's interesting. What do you think about it? Other than what we've already said.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about the game, but yeah, I think that'd be best to have it remastered then, and just find out if that's something that people want.
Yeah, if it's something that people
to have
enjoy.
future, make it a franchise, make it a part of the Nintendo family in some way, which would be cool too, because that's totally not a Nintendo type game.
Oh, that was weird. I clicked it by accident like the second I started, but the timer went up.
Okay.
Okay, Micah. Out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 topics, which one do you want to talk about? The Nintendo Switch might offer VR. The next Batman game might feature Damian Wayne. Will Red Dead Redemption 2 have 3 main characters? Yeah, that's it. Of those 3, which one do you... Actually, and Nintendo might be making Excite Truck for Switch. Which one of those 4 do you want to talk about?
The third sounds the most interesting.
What, Red Dead?
Yeah.
Okay, so Grand Theft Auto 5 had 3 main playable characters. That was a big feature of the game and the story, to be able to jump in and out in between those characters. There is maybe not rumors, but more speculation that something similar could happen for Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 1 starred John Marston. You only played as him all the way through the game for the most part. I'm not going to say anything else just in case anybody... It did kind of just recently come on backwards compatible for Xbox 360 and stuff. If you guys haven't played that game, especially since this time next year, you should be able to be playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Praise God, because that game's amazing. I can't wait to play that game.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, God. So go play Red Dead Redemption 1 all the way start to finish. It's an incredible game. And I won't say anything else, but it definitely did not have the feature of jumping in and out in between 3 different characters. You played as John Marston. That's what it was. So there's speculation that you might be still playing as John Marston because it looks like a prequel, but you might also be playing as other characters. Would you be a fan of this, Micah, the Grand Theft Auto 5 route, or the original Red Dead Redemption route, as playing as one character pretty much start to finish and not jumping around? Which one would you prefer?
I would prefer the first. Just how the original Red Dead Redemption. Mm-hmm. I think it worked really well for the world of GTA, but when it comes to like a cowboy type thing, I think that would kind of ruin it.
Yeah, like zapping up into the sky and then back down into some guy and like the 7 towns over.
Yeah,
it doesn't really seem like a cowboy thing to do.
And being a cowboy is all like kind of like big world.
Yeah, cerebral. It's about
lonely,
like sucking in the environment. Yeah,
and you're kind of just lonely, kind of by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a bunch of characters, it kind of takes away that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I would stick with 1.
Yeah,
because I think it makes way more sense for that type of world. But GTA, who cares? You can have a billion characters. But when it comes to Red Dead,
the story for GTA is like sometimes people like it, but I think that world and just messing around and being silly and just doing stuff is more fun for GTA players. For Red Dead Redemption, the story and the character of the world was like such a big part. I think they should just stick with 1 character the way they did with the original, and it'll be flawless.
Yeah. Perfect.
Woo!
Oh, just my seat.
Shut up. Okay.
Okay.
Next topic. We got, do you want to talk about one of those other ones that I mentioned real quick?
That last one sounded pretty stupid.
The Excite Truck one?
Make Excite Bike, not Excite
Yes,
Truck.
exactly. Okay. The original Excite Bike for NES, I'm going to say it, slightly overrated. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
Doesn't really hold up that much. So when people still try to talk about Excite Bike being good and whatnot, it's like, yeah, it was kind of fun, but like, it was fun at the time. It had cool ideas and cool you basically after you would like ramp up in the air on your little motorcycle bike thingy sideways, you would, if you landed like perpendicular to the hill, you would be able to like continue speeding up. If you landed sloppy, you could either crash or slow you down. So it was a strategic racing game as far as the way you played it, which was cool. Like it wasn't just like I'm gonna move forward. You had to really adjust yourself and whatnot. And then if we fast forward all the way to the Wii, Excite Truck was just this kind of over the top crazy thing, and then Excite Bots was just plain stupid. But reverse to Nintendo 64 Excite Bike,
where the gold is.
Excite Bike 64, freaking one of the best racing games of all time.
Oh yeah,
so much fun. Like soundtrack was cool. The level design was awesome and super varied.
Cool, yeah, really.
Don't
cool
give
levels.
me Excite Truck, Nintendo. Give me Excite Bike 64 too. Like give me the Excite Bike 64 type game. Make it awesome and gorgeous, and maybe make me be able to play it on the go on my Nintendo Switch and back home on gorgeous 1080p, and freaking Jim Rivers wipes out, and Bobby Big Butt Malone eats dirt, and Tricky Ricky Stearns, I don't know what's the other one. Whatever. Anyway, that's what I want, and those are all characters from the game. So that's if anybody was trying to, Sarah something, and then there was
I don't remember. You said the Rivers one?
Yeah, Jim Rivers, Bobby Malone, Tricky Ricky Stern, Sarah something, Words and Stuff. But that game was awesome.
Yeah.
I really like that game.
You can make your own track too.
Yeah, you could. You couldn't save it though.
Really?
I don't think so. Unless
and you could play soccer too.
Yeah, there was all these mini games. Oh, it was so good. Excite Truck sucks. Excite Bike 64
that was the first Rocket League. If you think about it.
Yeah, it was. Like literally when they announced Rocket League, I was like, cool. It's just like Excite Bike 64 little soccer mini game. You could just play soccer in this thing with bikes and just it was a fun game.
Yeah.
Game's good.
It is.
All right. Cool. We have one more quick topic in the speed run. This is something that happened a little while ago now that they were first announced it a couple months ago, but we've slowly gotten some trickling of more information, and that is the fact that there's a Nintendo Land amusement park edition coming to Universal Studios in Japan. This is really, really cool. Basically, they announced a couple things recently. They showed a concept art of what it's supposed to look like. It looks straight up like the Mushroom Kingdom. And it is also... Really cool. What's that?
It looks really cool.
It looks awesome. And then the other thing that they announced is that they're shooting for a 2020 release date's not the right word. Opening, I guess.
Yeah, opening.
This was in Japan, Universal Studios. It's called Nintendo Land. Not to be confused with the okay-ish game for the Wii U. But it looks really cool. The one thing I'm a little bit concerned about is that from the concept art, it just looks like the Mushroom Kingdom. It looks more like Mario Land, which I get it because that's the best way for them to make money. But maybe at another time, especially when they get a little bit closer, we can have one of the topics be like what we want as far as like all these cool ideas for like Zelda-themed stuff and Mario-themed stuff and Pikmin and Animal Crossing and Star Fox and F-Zero and Donkey Kong and everything. We have a lot of cool ideas for all that. Oh, yeah. But it is definitely interesting that it's coming 2020. Go ahead, Micah. You got like another minute and a half to explain the interestingness of 2020 being the date and all that kind of stuff.
When I found out that the Olympics was going to be in Tokyo in 2020.
Yep.
I was like, oh, I gotta do that because I kind of always wanted to go to Japan. Yeah. Just to see it because it seems like a fascinating place.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I also kind of always wanted to go to the Olympics, so it's like, boom, two things at once. And then I found that out too, and it's like, oh man, that's a lot of money.
If you could actually go to Japan for the Olympics in 2020, and then also go to Nintendo Land, like you'll die happy, man.
Yeah, I might skip the Olympics and just go right to Nintendo.
Just tell people that you did the Olympics because it's a little bit more socially acceptable.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this has kind of always been my dream too, so it's pretty amazing.
What, like, a Nintendo theme park?
Oh yeah, when I was little, like. I always would like draw my own like rides or think of like rides ideas and like draw out amusement parks like Nintendo themed and all that stuff. So it's gonna be great. I hope that someday it comes to America as well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. If it does really well over there.
There's one in Florida, right?
What, Universal Studios?
Yeah.
Yes. It's got Harry Potter. It's got Star Fox. So Star Wars. Excuse me.
Okay,
so yeah, I mean, if if it blows up and is super popular over there, I don't see why they couldn't try to figure out a way to get something like that here, or better yet, like a literal just Nintendo theme park, like
separate. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure this is kind of a test for that kind of thing.
I think it is too.
Cool.
Perfect.
Shut up! Why don't I remember how to press the stop button today?
Game's off, Jonathan.
Yeah. Christmas has kind of got me off my game right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the question of the week. Question is coming in from the listener who sent it into wordsandstuffquestions@gmail.com. So if you guys want your questions read, they can be anything, any kind of question you can think of. Send them into wordsandstuffquestions@gmail.com. Hey guys, Conrad Cortinez again from San Antonio, Texas. Seems like you guys had fun with the deathmatch tournament last week, so I thought, this will be 2 weeks ago now though, so I thought you might like an entire new crop of willing and able killing machines. Same rules apply as last week. Each character is limited to their own abilities from each of their games. And as Bam, which is my online name, / Jonathan called him over and over again, Invisible Mario. I thought I said Invincible Mario, but apparently I mistakenly called him Invisible Mario.
We really
a couple
screwed
times.
that up. I'm sorry. Like I started like what was that? Like
I
was squaring off the
totally
wrong guys too.
Yeah, you totally messed it up.
Oh yeah.
Apparently I said Invisible Mario instead of Invincible Mario, and you like were trying to fight the wrong people for like a whole minute and a half straight.
Yep.
Anyway, the deathmatch tournament. This week's deathmatch tournament is Kratos from God of War versus Raiden from Mortal Kombat, Samus from Metroid versus Bowser from Mario Bros, Pyramid Head from Silent Hill versus Big Daddy from BioShock. And it is only 3 this time instead of 4, so I actually followed up and asked him again. I was like, what do you want to do for that last round then, since it's 3? I said, would you like to have it like a free-for-all, 1v1v1, 3 different guys fighting each other? And he's like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, because I think he kind of didn't think past that part. So I'll do the first one, you can do the middle one, I'll do the last one, and then we'll both give our thoughts on the last one. Okay?
Sounds good.
Kratos from God of War versus Raiden from Mortal Kombat. Kratos wins. End of story. Sorry. Like, I mean, Mortal Kombat, you know, he said it's a deathmatch via Mortal Kombat. That's kind of the rules from before. But all the Mortal Kombat characters do, yeah, they're really good fighters. They're really gruesome. They kill each other in disgustingly awesome, disgusting ways. But, I mean, Kratos from God of War, like, literally kills gods.
Yep.
He fights, he doesn't have to even worry about fighting one-on-one the way that you do in Mortal Kombat. He's fighting bazillions of creatures all at once while running on the back of, like, some gigantic titan that's 1 billion times bigger than him, ripping creatures' eyeballs out. Like, as disgusting and over-the-top as the kills can be in Mortal Kombat, Kratos, like, has been doing that for forever. That's his game. Like, literally, if you plopped him into the game of Mortal Kombat, he would be an unbeatable character.
Seriously.
So Kratos wins, hands down. Next one. Micah. Samus from Metroid versus Bowser from Mario Bros. Good choice, by the way. We're keeping them in like, every one is kind of in the same category, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Samus from Metroid versus Bowser from Mario Bros.
I would go with Samus for Metroid. If you kind of just think of Bowser as another alien, it really is no problem to Samus.
Yeah.
Taking down tons of aliens, different sizes. It's basically just another alien.
Yeah. That's her job.
Yeah.
She's a bounty hunter, and she just takes down, like, creatures and stuff, so.
Yeah, and Bowser's been taken down by so many people.
I mean, think about it. Mario's biggest enemy is a plumber. A short and slightly overweight plumber. And this short and slightly overweight plumber has gotten the best of him for 30 years.
Yep.
For 30 years, this short, overweight plumber has gotten the best of him.
Yep.
So you're going to tell me that Samus, with her super suit and her arm cannon and all these different abilities, is going to have trouble with this, like, dinosaur turtle guy who sometimes use fire effectively but usually just fails completely in life? Like, he should write, like, a memoir about how tragic his life is.
Seriously. I mean, by now
he can't even do anything right. He's kind of worthless.
Yeah, really. And by now, he's been taken down by, like, anyone now.
Yeah,
like,
Luigi has beaten
Toad.
him. I mean, Peach had a game where Peach saved Mario. Peach beat him.
Yeah.
So, like,
even Toad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Yeah,
Tragic.
Samus definitely wins. Next one, Pyramid Head from Silent Hill versus Big Daddy from BioShock. This is a kind of cool one. Again, kind of along the theme, BioShock is not a straight up horror game, but it's definitely got horror and like horror elements and
aspects of that.
Eerie elements to it. And then Silent Hill, of course, is a straight horror game. So Pyramid Head definitely wins in the creepy department. Like, I mean, horrifying creature for sure. But I'm gonna give this to Big Daddy. I think Big Daddy is a big, Pyramid Head has like some more psychological abilities and like some, not psychological is not the right word, maybe some mysterious and like supernatural abilities.
Yeah.
Big Daddy's kind of just this big thing that walks around in a suit and whatnot. But at the same time, I feel like if Big Daddy would ever just get his hand on the Pyramid Head, it's over. He's just going to drill him right through the face. And it's done.
Or her, like, what is that thing even?
What? I don't even know.
I think it might be a girl, actually. Maybe not.
It's disgusting.
Well, actually, I think it's just that metal or whatever pyramid thing on it. And it's just really scrawny with, like, just a little bit of cloth on it or something like that.
Yeah, it's
basically.
Yeah, and it's got, like, a big blade and whatnot. I guess it would be more considered a female, I guess, but it uses a blade. But like, think about it, what's gonna win, the blade or the big drill that's stuck to his arm?
Yeah,
like, it's pretty clear that Pyramid Head does not have the upper hand, I think.
So,
anyway,
Daddy wins.
So Big Daddy is the champion. So that would put us to the final round, and instead of being 1v1, this is Kratos versus Samus versus Big Daddy. Who wins, Micah?
I'd give it to the God of War.
Kratos. The God of War, Kratos.
Yep. Just because. I mean, do I have to explain it?
Yeah, of course you do. The heck?
He's really strong. He takes down gods. They're not gods, so they're lower than that, so it should be a little easier.
Yeah.
A lot easier.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, if you just think about it, Kratos is again, like, he'll just be in an area where there's, like, literally 100 creatures charging him, like skeletons and, like, just like flying creatures and all this stuff, and he'll take them down with ease with his bare claws and like a little blade, like easily.
Yeah. And then he's taking down Zeus. And
meanwhile, Big Daddy will get taken down with like a guy with a gun in the BioShock games. You know what I mean? You can beat him just by like outmaneuvering him and shooting. It's hard, but he can get killed by those type of guys, which means Samus will probably have the upper hand over Big Daddy. But then Samus, I don't think, the best thing she ever stops is like aliens and like brains that are stuck inside of glass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Ridley flies around and gives her a pretty tough time. But Kratos will just jump on Ridley's back and rip his wings off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just what he does. So, Kratos definitely wins this week's deathmatch tournament. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Hanzo/Conrad, for sending in that question.
Uh-huh.
And he ends the email with, "Love the show, guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Love you too. Thanks. You're my favorite." Okay, cool. That was pretty awesome. So now we've got Mario, Invincible Mario, and Kratos that have moved on to the next round. So like when we get like 2 or 3 more or 4 more or something like that, then we'll be able to create a bracket from those guys and see who will win. Now we're going to jump over to the topic of the day. This week has been kind of slow in gaming news and like relevant gaming conversation, just because the main theme has been Christmas for everybody. So if you go to a lot of gaming websites, it's like, here are all the great deals that you can like buy cool games for cheap and like cool, go buy your friend some Mass Effect socks, or go buy, like they'll have like different ideas for like gaming gifts that might be even outside of gaming, but still in the gaming world, like shirts or figurines and stuff like that. So, it's been a kind of slow week. Next week, I have a lot of cool stuff planned for the end of the year type stuff. So because it's a little bit slow, I'm going to fall back on a cool idea that I think that we're going to do moving forward if it's a slow-ish week, and that is we're going to compile our top 10s for different consoles between us so that we can make a definitive top 10 list for whatever that thing might be. And if it ends up being something like let's say we wanted to do right now top 10 PlayStation 4 games, like next year we would do it again and we would be able to change it. Maybe there's no changes at all. Maybe in a whole year, nothing like better came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you would think that in a year, 1 or 2 games would come out that might jump in that list. But then there would also be times that we might do like top 10 Super Nintendo games And then that will obviously be stuck because, we won't do another one of those. We'll just, that's the list because, new Super Nintendo games aren't coming out.
Yeah.
Though also the way we'll do it is kind of mathematically. I'm going to give my top 10 games for that thing, and you're going to give your top 10 games, and then we will add them up. So whatever my number 1 game is, it gets 10 points. And your number 1 game gets 10 points. And then the number 10 game gets 1 point from each of us. And then it goes down the list. So your number 1 game would get 10 points. The number 2 game would get 9 points. The number 3 game would get 8 points, and so on and so forth. And then at the end, we'll compile up those things. So let's say my number 1 game might only end up being number 4 on our list completely, because if it's not on your list at all, then it will count as 10 points. But maybe combined, the rest of our games are way better than 10 points. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, cool. Do you have your list ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's start off with. Oh yeah, by the way, we are doing this week's list is going to be top 10 Nintendo DS games. Micah, you kind of picked that being the list this time. Why did you pick that as the game the console we wanted to top 10 this time?
So when I was just on our way and back to North Carolina for Christmas, my nephews, they have a original DS. I think it's a DSi XL. So like the newest DS before the 3DS. And they were playing New Super Mario Bros. And you can do that join thing even on the 3DS. And I happen to have my old copy, but I don't even think I needed it either. I could still connect. So I just started kind of playing with them for a little, like the mini games and stuff like that. And I was like, gee, this is fun.
Yeah.
And I just remembered how many good DS games there were and how great that whole era was.
Yeah.
So when I found out, kind of looking over news that this wasn't really a big week, I was like, DS games are perfect for a countdown.
Yeah, definitely.
Or a list of top 10s.
Yeah. So we'll do our top 10 now. We'll continue doing this forward, especially if you guys like it. Like I said, it's kind of a slowish week, so I thought it would be a good idea to talk about something like that. So this will be our kind of definitive top 10 Nintendo DS games based on our own opinions. This is all us, so there are some games that would crack some other people's top 10 that maybe we never played or whatever, but we have a pretty wide range of games between the both of us that we played. And we'll probably definitely have some games we doubled up on, but we didn't check each other's list before this, so we'll see what it comes out to in the end. So we're going to go from 10 all the way up to 1. Micah, what is your number 10 best Nintendo DS game?
My number 10 is Metroid Prime Hunters.
Oh, Metroid Prime Hunters.
Yeah. Great game. Fun online, or not online, but connect with the DSs. You can play as as Samus or the other hunters.
Yep.
And a multiplayer thing. I think they might have had something like that in Metroid Prime games on the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
But that was really fun doing the go.
And it was online. The Prime on the GameCube was not online for the multiplayer features.
Oh, okay.
I think only 2 had online. I don't think multiplayer. I don't think 3 had multiplayer at all because people didn't really like it.
Yeah.
But the multiplayer in the DS version, you could go online, which was pretty interesting and pretty fun.
Yeah, especially at the time.
Yeah.
For that, yeah.
Cool. All right, my number 10 is Nintendogs. I don't know if that's going to be on your list at all. Maybe. Nintendogs was a very interesting game, and my gosh, if you've ever seen a game blow up before, Nintendogs is that wow, everybody was playing that game, everybody was talking about that game. It was interesting because I don't know if I've ever seen a game from Nintendo blow up like that without having anything licensed attached to it. Yeah. This wasn't like Mario's Nintendogs, where these Nintendogs were from the Mario world or something like that. This was just straight realistic looking dogs that you could pet and feed and go on walks and do little fun mini games and give a bath and put a bow on their head.
Yeah.
Very interesting, and we're probably lucky that game didn't come out now, because holy crap, microtransactions.
Oh my gosh.
They would have stuffed the game with microtransactions.
Yeah.
And had us paying bazillions of bucks for this. But it's funny because if a pet rock can be famous and every kid in the 80s had a pet rock,
yeah,
then or those Tamagotchi little pets that you could have. Is that what that was called?
Yeah.
I think it was called
Something like
Tamagotchi. You could have those little like electronic pets that you would have, and they could like literally die if you didn't feed them. Like those things became popular. Like of course Nintendogs would become popular, and then eventually Nintendo Cats too.
Yeah.
And then everybody else had their own spin-off version. I think Ubisoft had one for a while.
Yeah, like My Pets with a Z.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, because you had to have a Z. It's the cool thing to do.
Super cool.
Like it was stupid. But it was definitely like I'm not the biggest fan. Like I thought it was fun. I recognize that it's not really a game in a sense, but like for what that did for the DS, for how well it sold, and for like legit how fun it was. It was a fun game. I played it a good amount. And it had the microphone features. You could talk to it. You could give it commands. It was very interesting. And I know like later on, the Xbox tried to do similar things with Connectimals, and it like totally failed. So Nintendo figured out a way to do it right, and they did it right. It sold like crazy. And now like the Nintendogs are like in some other games like Smash Bros every once in a while and stuff like that. So it was definitely a very successful game, and it made them, and that series printed them money.
It's crazy.
And then they had all those different. You could get. It wasn't even like they had different versions where it was like this version has like a golden retriever and a Dalmatian and a Chihuahua, and then this version has a beagle and a Rottweiler, and it was really crazy.
I wonder how many
like
games
crazy.
they actually had. Like all together.
All the different versions? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They still.
And then they made 3DS ones too.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they made it.
It's pretty insane how much Nintendo like dominated and ruled handheld.
Yeah.
Just handhelds no
if
matter
phones
what.
didn't come out, they'd still be rocking it.
Oh my gosh.
And they still are. Like they're still doing well with handhelds, which is why I think the Switch will do well because it's gonna take over as being their next handheld.
Yeah.
But like it's pretty ridiculous. They totally own that market.
They did.
With games like that. They would come out with legit games that are going to be on my list continually, but then they still came out with like weird experimental stuff, and I don't know if you maybe have a couple of those on your list, but they still ended up like blowing up and being huge. Okay, what is your number 9 game?
My number 9 is The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass.
Interesting.
Yeah. Major disappointment if you compare it to Wind Waker.
Oh yeah.
But if you just compare it as just a fun game to play, fun Zelda game, lots of puzzles. They kind of work with that whole like walking around with the stylus type movement.
Yeah, very interesting gameplay style.
So you're not just moving left and right. You're moving all different directions. Like not left to right, just up, down, left to right type movement. It's like any way you can go.
Yeah.
I don't know what else really. Oh, they did have a really weird puzzle. Like a whole dungeon that you had to keep coming back to.
Yeah, every time you beat a dungeon, you had to go back to an area to kind of like, what was it? You had to go back there to kind of like place your item, kind of.
You had to like fill the sand.
Yeah,
like some hourglass.
Exactly.
So it didn't run
with
out.
the stuff that you just got.
Yeah.
But like you had to go up through this same tower over and over and over again, and their idea was like it's this cool thing where the more you play in this tower, like the better you get at it, and you can run through super fast. But really, it just ended up being like super repetitive.
Oh yeah, and when I was young, it like scared me because like. Literally, there were these enemies in there that could kill you in one hit.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
And areas like where you slowly die, like you have to be in like these little safe squares that
that was so weird.
You start dying if you're just walking around.
Yeah, very strange game. Like they had a lot of weird experimental stuff that they never ended up doing again. So they saw that like, whoa, that was a failure.
Yeah, it ended up feeling really rewarding though when you finish those areas and stuff like that.
Cool. My number 9 is Advanced Wars Dual Strike. Advanced Wars would probably be in one of the first games that would come out of my mouth right now for a series they need to bring back. Such a fun series, super strategic. I first played that game. It's called Advanced Wars because it started on the Game Boy Advance. But then it's cool. Dual Strike is the name of this one, and it's called Dual Strike because DS is like the same acronym. So they kind of kept it going with with the title of their game having something to do with the title of the console they're on, which is kind of cool. Very, very fun game. Super strategic. It's a turn-based strategy game. My favorite of all. Nintendo has dabbled a couple times with that. Fire Emblem, for example, is one that's now blown up since being steady for a little while, but then blowing up over the past 5 years. But I like Advance Wars even more. Not entirely sure why, because I usually like kind of medieval-based stuff, which is what Fire Emblem is. But something's really, really cool about like World War II type. Advanced Warfare is not really World War II, but it's not new either.
Yeah, it has
somewhere
that
in
feeling,
between.
though.
Yeah, it has a World War II. It's really, for being like a game about war, it's got like some kind of like a cartoony, fun vibe to it. It's just a fun game. I started playing that on the GameCube, and then I played Dual Strike 1 as well. I mean, not GameCube, excuse me, Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. I really like it. And I think that if you have a DS or if you could play some of those games backwards compatible or whatever, it's definitely worth it. And I think it's something that Nintendo definitely should bring back. Especially, I think they should bring it back on the Switch. Maybe keep the exact same graphical style, something really simplistic. Make it like a $10,
cool.
$15, $20 game.
Yeah.
But then touch it up to have like gorgeous looking effects, but still be that same aesthetic.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Add some kind of share thing to it, because I think in the Game Boy one you can make your own maps.
Yeah, you could, and then have multiplayer would be a really good feature too.
Or one of those things that Nintendo seems like, where like it's kind of like you're playing against someone, but they're not actually there.
Yeah.
So you kind of create your own army, but somehow customize it to make it different strategies.
Yeah.
And you kind of play that or fight that army while that person's not there. So you're fighting their army. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Definitely. That would maybe be another game that would
just
be
thinking about that.
yeah. I think it would be another possibility for a phone game actually.
Yeah.
Like that might end up being a really good
I'd
idea.
buy that.
Yeah, I would. That might be a great idea for, with the success of Pokemon Go, even though that wasn't necessarily directly them, that was Niantic. With the success of that game and with the success of Mario Run, maybe Advance Wars can be one of the ones. Maybe they should wait a little bit until they get a couple more successful games with franchises that we definitely know that are more like something the consumer is more interested in. But then after a couple successful games, maybe that would be a really good one.
Yeah.
All right, Michael, what is your number 8 best Nintendo DS game of all time?
My number 8 is Brain Age.
Oh,
which
interesting.
Is a really fun game.
Kind of compares to Nintendogs in some ways with what we were saying earlier.
Yeah, it's weird how that blew up too. And it's just, it's a really smart game. A lot of interesting puzzles and stuff like that. You know what?
What?
I don't think it was Brain Age that I'm thinking of here.
What do you mean?
Wasn't it called like Brain something Academy?
Big Brain Academy?
Yes. Switching game.
Oh.
Big Brain Academy. I got the wrong name. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, it's not called Brain Age. It's called Big Brain Academy. It was similar to that.
I remember.
Yeah, similar game, but yeah, I love that game. Yeah, a lot of little puzzles to get your mind moving. But yeah, it's Big Brain Academy.
It was a smart game.
Age, which Brain Age is a great game too.
Yeah, but it was really smart. It had a lot of fun little mini games and like legit. I think that game, if you play, it was designed to be played every day. Again, this is before phones existed. That's another game that they could bring back once phones come back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With phone stuff. It's designed to be played a couple hours, maybe 15 minutes a day, an hour a day, something like that. And it's designed to make you smarter, where it keeps your brain, keeps your brain thinking, the same way that people will play like Sudoku or crossword puzzles every day.
Yeah.
To just keep your brain stimulated. And there are a lot of people who played that game, like senior citizens and stuff that would play that game, and they were swearing to the fact that this is helping me. This is helping me stay stimulated and keeping my mind on its toes, so to speak. So cool pick.
Yep.
All right, my number 8 game is Zelda Phantom Hourglass. So you talked about that a little bit. You mentioned pretty much everything there is. I agree. It's a little disappointing. I mean, if we were to if we were to go out right now, if we were to mention the top 10 games, every Nintendo console right now, if we were to name the top 10 games, I think a Zelda game would be the top 3 in every single one.
Yeah.
Am I right? Sure. Probably like the top 10 Nintendo games, Zelda, the original Zelda.
Yeah.
Top 10 Super Nintendo games, A Link to the Past. Top 10, maybe Game Boy games, maybe they wouldn't, but the Oracle games are great. But top 10 GameCube games or 64 games would be Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and then Twilight Princess for the Wii/GameCube, and so on and so forth. So like it is kind of disappointing when compared to the greatness that is Zelda.
Yeah.
That the Phantom Hourglass, both Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, are disappointing and just not as fun. But that doesn't take away the fact that they're still really good games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, what is it? Captain Liner? Is that his name?
Lineback.
Lineback.
He's awesome.
The best character that they haven't brought back.
Forgot to mention that.
He's awesome. He's really, really awesome character. He's like your companion the whole time. He's kind of like, I don't even know if he gets it. Is he drinking? Does he get drunk? But he kind of acts like a drunk.
He kind of acts like...
He's like a drunkard without being a drunkard, I think, because I think
like,
they stayed away from that.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, he's funny. Like, all he cares about is
he's a wuss at the same time.
Oh, and that game's funny, too. They have a lot of funny little...
yeah, it's a really funny game.
Yeah, they have a lot of funny things in there, like... Yeah, a lot of fun little things that they put in that game. Yeah. It's a good game. It doesn't hold up to Zelda, but it's still a fun game.
Yeah, I would definitely, even though the DS is one of the the really great era of games. DS has a lot of it's just a great console with a lot of great games. But yeah, I think it's definitely one of the weakest when it comes to like Zelda franchises.
Yeah,
or Zelda franchise in their games. But even if it's probably the weakest, it's still Zelda. It's still a great game.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right, so what's your next one? What are we on? 7, I guess? Right?
Yeah.
What is your number 7 game?
Excuse me. I picked for 7 Kirby Superstar Ultra.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I played that. I was like in love with it. Like so many games within one. It's based off of the SNES. What was that? Just Kirby What was it called?
The Super Nintendo game was one of my favorite games for that. I remember playing it at my friend Teddy's house growing up. I never got to.
I think it's
own
just
my
Kirby
own copy.
Superstar.
I think it's just called Kirby Superstar, and then this one's Superstar Ultra, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. But it has a bunch of games. It's like the couple from the original, I think. And then
this is your number. Sorry, this is your number 7 game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it added like a bunch of more like games within games, and had like cute little movies, I guess you want to say, or like little cutscenes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then other little mini games that you could play within the game, like a karate chop one where like you had to karate chop the ground or something like that.
Loved that. It was so fun.
If you did it really good, you like crack Earth in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like a little samurai duel one, stuff like that. So it was a great game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good game for like a trip or something because there's just so much in it.
There's so much to do. There's so much. I will mention, I forgot to say this in the beginning, we are not allowing any remakes. So something like Chrono Trigger is not going to make the list. But Micah did ask me about this one, and I okayed this one because it is technically a remake, but at the same time it's not, because it's got like so much new stuff. I think the original had like 4 games on it pretty much. It had like a little campaign thingy, and then it had that Karate Chop game. And my favorite game of all, even more than the Karate Chop, was awesome. Maybe that was my favorite. But then I also loved like the duel one. Did you mention that one? Where like there's 2 guys.
The samurai one.
Yeah, exactly. The samurai one. Yeah, you did mention that one.
Yeah.
But then this DS version had like legit like 8 new games. Like all these new things you can play. There's a game where you could play as Meta Knight. There's 2 actually, I think, that you could play as Meta Knight. And then there was like a dungeon crawling type game where it was like procedurally generated. They had a lot of like really cool things. So that's why I was like, that's fine to add to the list, because
they made it way different.
It was so much more, and like everything about it wasn't just like a remaster type thing. It was like the whole way that the game is laid out and how you unlock all the different games and all that. Everything was like redone. So that's why that's okay for that to be on the list. Cool. Is that it?
Yeah.
Cool. My number 7 game is Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow.
Ooh.
So, Castlevania series, like, where have you gone? Like, Symphony of the Night on the PlayStation 1 is considered by many to be one of the best games ever.
Uh-huh.
And for people who just continued playing, like, home console games and whatnot, like, the Castlevania series kind of like fell off the face of the earth because they just weren't that good anymore, and they started making like some decent ones here and there. But for people who had handhelds, whether it be the PSP had a couple of them and the DS had like 3 or 4 of them, the Castlevania series lived on and was awesome. And this one was the first one. Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow was the first on the DS out of, I can't remember if it was 3 or 4, but it also had like an anime style to it for like cutscenes and for the character design and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really fun game. It was a Metroidvania style game. People need to play these games for sure. The whole entire Castlevania series, like, it deserves to be these 2D games. It doesn't work for 3D, so stop making them for 3D pretty much. So, you know, I'm sure within the next few years we'll be like, here's the new Castlevania 3D, be excited, guys. And it just isn't going to be that great because they'll try to make it like God of War or something.
Yeah.
It's like...
I think they tried to make it like Shadow Colossus in the one. I remember there was some kind of like ice monster and he was like climbing and it's like, are you sure this is Castlevania?
No, because it used to just be like Dracula. Like, I'm inside of a mansion and I'm fighting Dracula and Medusa heads and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's what they keep it on the DS series that kind of went through. They kept that type of game and it's really fun. Yeah, that's my number 7. Cool.
So my number 6, that's where we are, right?
Yeah.
Mario Kart for the DS.
Ooh,
big
number 6.
Yeah. Big turning
point.
That
seems low.
Yeah. There's a lot of good ones.
There's a lot of good DS games.
Yeah. So this was like a turning point for Mario Kart for sure.
Oh yeah.
They added a lot to this game. Just the normal racing though, it's really fun. It's on the go. It's like super 3D looking, like the first really 3D looking Mario Kart game on the go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like, what would you say, like cleaner 64, Mario 64 like type graphics, I guess.
Yeah, it was, and it plays so much better too, which I'm like, it's smooth.
Yeah.
The Mario 64 still kind of had the feeling of, like, it almost feels like you're turning the world a little bit when you're turning like the car. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, the DS, it like felt like you had full control of your kart.
Yeah, and it was like, it wasn't insane. Like the Wii, Mario Kart Wii is just insane.
Yeah, they're so over the top now.
This one is more about the racing. Items are obviously in it, but it felt way more strategic with that type of stuff. You could like dodge blue shells if you were good enough with that too.
Yep.
You could like have the screen in the bottom so you could see what people's items they had. So I would, if I saw like someone with a blue shell, I'd like slow down and let the person in second pass me so they get hit.
Or a ghost, and you would shoot out your things right away so that nobody steals your item.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. Yeah, I actually remember that. But and they brought back some really cool old tracks from other games.
Yeah, that's the series also where they started. They would have a Grand Prix. They would have 8 Grand Prix, and now like every series has done this so far.
It was the first for
where it's 4 brand new Grand Prix, and each one of these 4 Grand Prix had 4 new maps in them, and then they have 4 classic Grand Prix where there are old maps brought back that are remade, and it's just a really cool idea where you have these 4 Grand Prix that are on brand new maps, and you have 4 Grand Prix that are on these classic old maps.
Really a turning point for that. Yeah, and they added missions, which were really cool.
Oh yeah.
Fight like bosses in Mario Kart, and I think that was really the only one to ever do that. And
other than the Wii had the timed missions. Remember those? Or like the events?
Yeah, the tournaments. That's
exactly
what they were called, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, also Waluigi Pinball. Really cool. My favorite track ever. I think they did bring it back, which makes me sad because I think they brought it back for like the 3DS.
Yeah.
That would have been really cool to see like an HD graphics.
Yeah, exactly. On the Wii U, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. But I think that's about it for that.
Cool. My number 6 game, Mario and Luigi Inside Story. So Mario and Luigi Inside Story is a RPG. It's a turn-based RPG with a really, really cool gameplay style.
Yeah.
Basically, the normal RPG, if it's a turn-based RPG, you click the button and your guy will do it. You're like, I'll do, for the sake of it being Mario, I'll do the hammer hits where you just slam somebody with a hammer. Or I'll do my fireballs and shoot fireballs. And you'll just watch it happen once you press it. In the Mario and Luigi series, they're always a timed-based thing where you see the guy jump in the air and you have to press A the second the hammer smashes down. And if you time it wrong, you'll only do like 4 damage. And if you time it right, you'll do like 12 damage. And then they also have, because it's Mario and Luigi, they have team-based attacks where like Mario will jump in the air and he'll jump on top of Luigi, and Luigi will launch Mario up into the sky, and then while he's doing that, Luigi will spin around in circles with the hammer, and then like when Mario comes back down, he'll like hit Mario with the hammer, which launches Mario towards the Goomba, and the Goomba gets freaking destroyed. But then you still have to do all the timing for this. You have to hit the A button at the right time, and you have to spin. The combat is so much fun. It keeps you engaged. Sometimes a turn-based RPG for me can get a little boring, which is why I freaking love Child of Light, because the RPGing of that game is like perfect to me. But this is the same type of thing where you have to stay engaged with it. Go ahead.
When you add a twist to like original RPG type element, like for some reason that's like super magical.
Yeah.
It's like perfect where it's like, nope, it's not just click this button. It's click this button and you have to like click it at the right time or dodge it, and it just adds so much more to it.
Exactly.
Even though it's just a simple change.
Exactly. Yeah, you could also dodge things, right? And you could block them. And sometimes you would like have to look at what attacks are flying towards you, and you have to pick and choose. Like, I'm going to get hit by some of these, so I have to try to pick and choose which ones to dodge and block, because some hits are going to be more powerful than the other.
Yeah.
And that's not even to begin to say the story and the characters. Freaking hilarious game.
Oh my gosh.
One of the funniest games ever. And the villain in that game is not even Bowser, really. Bowser's a partial villain, but the main villain is this random guy who takes over the Mushroom Kingdom, has this hilarious, cynical laugh. It's a fantastic game.
It's a great game.
It's one of my favorite. Obviously, it's one of my favorites on the DS. It's phenomenal. It just misses my top 5, but it's so fun.
It does not for me, because that is my 5. So adding on to this even more, Bowser Inside Story. That's my number 5. Game is dear to my heart because that was really the first type of game that I played. Really one of the first RPG type games I played.
Yeah.
And with Mario and everything, it's just like, whoa, what is this? This is like amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's a really great start for youngins.
Young RPG people, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, this game's hard and it's fun though, but it's like it's rewarding, and all like the dialogue, and I think one of the moves you actually did was that Mario like threw food at Luigi, and you had to like catch it, and Luigi became like really fat.
Oh
and,
I remember
down,
this.
You had to like press A at the right time to like smush him really hard.
Yeah.
And you also could play as Bowser too, which was really fun. I think you forgot to mention that.
Yeah, Bowser would get huge by like a Mega Mushroom or something. I forget how it was.
Well, what it was that literally you're playing 2 games at once.
Yeah.
You're playing Bowser in the real world, and Mario and Luigi are inside of his stomach.
Mario and Luigi are inside of
Bowser.
This
whole world. So they're fighting like gross viruses and stuff like that, and you're playing that, and that was side scroll. While you're in the real world, you're playing as Bowser.
Yeah, so creative.
It
My
is.
Gosh.
It's amazing.
I completely forgot to mention that. Yeah, Bowser's walking around in the real world, and you could go back to the real world as Mario and Luigi too, but then you could like go back to inside of Bowser again, which is weird.
When I think about it, this almost feels like another one of those Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze things where it's like, it feels like it's really underrated.
It is. It's definitely underrated.
Super creative.
It's such a creative game, and then you could also, Bowser would also get really big, and you could like fight these giant robot things, and then the game would go side-scrolling, and then it was a completely different game again. And side-scrolling, sorry, is that the right word? Basically, you would put the DS on its side, and now the left screen was Bowser, and the right screen was whoever you were fighting, and you would be shooting fireballs at him and doing it, and like again the gameplay changed. So you had the gameplay of Mario and Luigi side-scrolling, and then having these RPG battles inside of Bowser, and then you would have when either Mario and Luigi are in the real world, or when Bowser's in the real world in like a 3D space, but then also once you get into a battle, that's normal. That's the same combat style that they have regardless. And then there's a third element where Bowser would get massive and like fight like castles. He would literally punch a castle and robots and stuff like that. Yeah,
crazy.
Super creative and different and unique. And it's one of those times where it's like Nintendo's like, we can't push the limit too much with like obviously Mario Galaxy and stuff like that pushes the limits in many ways, but as far as realism and not going over the top with the story, like the 3D Marios and the 2D Marios, they're like, okay, we're gonna stick with the same pattern here. But with the Mario and Luigi series and stuff like that, that's when they can really stretch their creative legs and just do super goofy things. Yeah. And sometimes they don't work, but in this game, like everything that they did worked.
Yeah.
It was
you get
awesome.
To see like a side, like a different aspect to like all the creatures in the Mushroom Kingdom and stuff, where like they're
Yeah.
talking and dialoguing. Hilarious game, really awesome.
Yep.
It'd be cool to see it on the Switch. That would be
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Maybe that's what that Rabid Mario game is. Maybe
Something
some
like
kind
that.
of weird crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
could be it. That could
And
be it.
they've made more of those, so I'm kind of like sad that like I don't know if they're that popular, and I haven't got to play them.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like how many on this? I think there's 2 on the 3DS now, like a Dream Team one. I think it's what it's called.
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi Dream Team.
Yep.
And then there's one where it's Mario and Luigi and Paper Mario.
Yeah, which I
Like
think is
those.
weird because the Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi series should probably stay apart, and they
Yeah.
combined them. And I think that just confused it even more because I think those games were already kind of confusing to people as far as like, well, you have 2 Mario RPGs.
Yeah, they were kind of similar in a way. So
Yeah.
now combining them kind of make
Very
it's
strange.
weird.
But yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
moving on.
Okay, so that was your number 5. My
Yep.
number 5 is Pokemon Diamond Pearl / Platinum. I'm just gonna put them all into one because they're the same thing. Personally, I think my third favorite Pokemon series. It's the last one I played though. I've not played another Pokemon game since then because since then the black and white one looks stupid to me. X and Y look kind of dumb. This newest one looks like maybe it's interesting but not enough to get me back. I'm hoping that whatever they put on the Switch might be like the one that brings me back to the series.
Yeah.
So it's also kind of near and dear to my heart because I played every single one of the series up until that point. And that's not the game that lost me. It was the next games beyond that I never got to play that kind of was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But the world is really good. They definitely started kind of getting a little funny with the Pokemon design, but they were still good enough to me. And Black and White and X and Y and beyond, they started totally getting crazy with the Pokemon design.
Yeah.
Just like, this is the stupidest thing anywhere. It doesn't look anywhere near natural or anything. Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, they still look pretty natural and cool. There were so many legendaries, probably too many, but still it kind of was a cool thing. Like, it was almost like this is the legendary version where like there's so many of them, and that was really cool to me. And I just had a whole lot of fun with that game. I played that maybe out of all the games I've ever played on the DS, probably third most, and my other 2 more games will come in a moment. But I played so much of this game. I had a whole lot of fun with it. It's Pokemon. There's not much to say. It didn't do a whole lot of new stuff, but what it did do was deliver on a Pokemon game that's a lot of fun. So that is my number 5 Nintendo DS game.
Once again, adding on to that, my 4th is Pokemon
What?
Diamond and Pearl. Probably my favorite of all the Pokemon games. Probably just because of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Except I did play Blue. That was my first one I played. And then I didn't play one until Diamond and Pearl, which I played Pearl. And I loved it. Probably like my second favorite like starter looking Pokemon. Mm-hmm. They're all awesome. I did like that.
Oh yeah, you're right. The starters on that one are awesome.
Yeah, I did that kind of cheat thing. Not cheat, but like trade where you traded them with me. I remember. So I had all 3 starters.
Yep,
and
that's
they're
what
all
I did
awesome
too.
starters. Probably the monkey one. It's probably the best. Or I don't even know.
Inferno.
They're all cool.
I think it's Infernape. I mean.
Yeah, but Empoleon looks
No,
awesome
Empoleon's
too.
legit,
And
so is Torterra.
Yeah, they're all really cool.
I think that is okay.
And they
The
all have
starters
really
in
good
that one, in my
ability,
opinion,
like,
are the best.
They have really good second.
Either that or the original, but they're so good.
Yeah, and they have really good second. What do they call it? Typing too, like water, steel, firefight, and grass, earth.
Yep.
Other than that, I don't know. I think that's about it for that. Yeah, they did a lot of new stuff with that game. They added like this special defense, special attack.
Yeah, they actually did add a good amount. And the
cool
the apps. Remember they had apps on the bottom screen?
With the DS.
Yeah.
Where it's like a watch.
Yeah, a watch
flip a
or
coin.
a coin flipping thing, or they had
Look
the
at the different typings.
Yeah, the different types to show you like what was super effective against what type. A little thing to see where Pokemon were in your area, like a little radar thing.
Yeah.
They did a lot of
They
really
had, like,
cool.
The frontier.
Yep.
Like after, if you wanted to go for like a harder challenge after the Elite Four. Great game. For sure.
Indeed. That was your number 4, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Getting
My
close.
number 4. Oh yeah, we're getting close. My number 4. I'm sure you're gonna mention this, unless you're crazy. New Super Mario Bros.
Okay.
Looking back at that series now, it's not like if you told me right now we have a new Super Mario Bros. Game coming out for the Switch, I'd be kind of like, oh, really? Like, I don't want this. But you have to understand, at this point, we had not had a 2D Mario game since Super Mario World.
Just crazy.
For the Super Nintendo, because basically, for a while there, pretty much from the PlayStation, there were some games like Castlevania Symphony of the Night that we mentioned earlier. But from the PlayStation 1/Nintendo 64 era, all the way up to 2002 or whatever, like 2D games were kind of taboo. It's like, what do you mean? We're making 3D games now. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the early era of like the 360 and the PS3 and stuff like that, they're still like, I don't know about this. And then they started, like, 2D games kind of came back with the indie market and like downloadable games, little $10 games.
Yeah.
And that's when 2D games were truly coming back. But when they brought New Super Mario Bros. Back as a 2D game with this very interesting 2.5D graphics, I wasn't the biggest fan. I like sprites more. Yeah. But at the time, it definitely looked cool. They had the Mega Mushroom that walked through and destroyed everything. Yeah. The Mini Mushroom to go through these little secrets. The game was massive. A really cool overworld. Really good music. Really good level design. Awesome bosses. They since then, every single new Super Mario Bros. Game now just has the stupid like 7 Koopalings. Yeah. Really which boring. Are cool, but then they don't play that differently because they're all similar. Meanwhile, this one had like different types of actual bosses to play, similarly to like what Yoshi's Island did on the Super Nintendo, where like the bosses were actually fun bosses. And it was extreme. Like I played it so much to collect everything, and we'll mention it more because I know it's going to be on your list. But I guess that'll be all I'm going to mention now. But like, it was such a good game. It was so fun. It was 2D Mario brought back for the first time in forever, and it was an absolute blast.
Yep.
Cool.
Number 3, right?
Yes.
So my number 3 is a game that kind of came out of nowhere. No game that I ever even thought would happen, or like nothing I even ever thought of.
Yeah.
This game is Rhythm Heaven.
Yes.
Crazy awesome game, a rhythm game. They've made a couple. There was one before that for the Game Boy that I never even knew existed. I think it only was in Japan.
Yeah.
So it's the same people who make WarioWare.
This is your third. This is your third best game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
And it's super great game. If I like go back and play, it's like super nostalgic. They made one of them for the Wii called Rhythm Heaven Fever.
Yep.
And then
amazing game.
On the 3DS, which I got like on the spot, Rhythm Heaven Mix.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's called.
Yep.
That brought back some of the games from all three the games before, and brought new ones in. And I actually haven't even beat it yet because it's like 3 times. It's like, oh, the game's over. Nope, no, it's not. And there's even more games. And it's just like
which is what the DS one did too. When you beat the game, it looks like you beat it by beating like the 6th remix or whatever, and all of a sudden it's like broop broop broop. Oh, just kidding, 6 more. You're like, frick,
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this game definitely brought me into this awesome franchise.
Oh yeah.
I hope it. I know it's not easy to like keep thinking of cool ideas like that, or like super creative little rhythm games all the time. But I could see this being a thing to keep existing, and I think they should add it on to other stuff. Would have been a great opportunity to somehow fix it or like put it on Smash Bros. Hopefully they can still try to do stuff like that.
Another possibility for a phone game. They can make a butt ton of money if they made that a phone game and made it fun, along with like WarioWare. Yeah. Those type of games, little fun, little quick, small games, but so much fun. So much fun. I love that game so much. Rhythm Heaven's, amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so that was your number 3, right?
Uh-huh.
My number 3 is Mario Kart DS, which you had like for 5 or 6. What'd you have it as? I forget.
I believe 6.
6, cool. Mario Kart DS, possibly the game that I played most out of anything. I just put so much time into that game. It's phenomenal. I mentioned, I guess on last week's, I think it was, that it took me a year and a half exactly to beat that game. I got it for Christmas, and a year and a half later on June 25th is when I beat it. So deep. So many, like those missions that you mentioned were so cool. The battle mode was really fun. The local multiplayer was just a whole lot of fun. You could play it with friends who didn't even have the game. You could only play it in the 2 different Grand Prix. In the remix Grand Prix, like of those older, levels that they brought back from the 64 and the Super Nintendo and stuff that we mentioned earlier, and one new Grand Prix. So only 8 tracks, but still, it was awesome. And you could play as Shy Guy. That was the only way to play as Shy Guy, which is funny.
Yeah.
Just a whole lot of fun. I love that game. I think it's still my favorite Mario Kart. It just felt so good. Some people didn't like snaking, but I liked snaking even though it hurt my fingers, which was like a method to go really fast, boosting back and forth.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the online worked really, really well. It was not perfect, but it was good. The customization for the cart, you could have so many different carts. In the beginning, like each character could only have like 3 carts, but when you beat the game, to a degree, every single cart was unlockable for every character. I had like this blue like sports car looking thing that I used with Luigi.
I remember that.
And then you could also
the vacuum.
Yep, exactly. The vacuum was like one of his specific ones. But then again, once you like beat the game, then like Peach could use the vacuum truck if you wanted to. So like it changed, which was really cool once you beat it. And then you could also there was like an emblem creator that you could create and put on your car.
Oh, yeah, that was really cool.
There's a lot of really cool, fun stuff. I love that game. I know you talked about it a good amount, so I'm not going to go into too much more detail. But that is my number 3 game. It was freaking phenomenal.
So my number 2 is another one which I just didn't even know about it. And it's Professor Layton.
Yes.
And the Curious Village.
Yes.
So Rhythm Heaven and Professor Layton I think we got those kind of around the same time.
Yep.
And they're both games where I'm like, being just a Nintendo fan and playing like Mario and stuff like that, we're like, this is a new game. This is something different.
Yeah.
And it just felt really cool. And
this is your number 2, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Great game, great story, super awesome puzzles, and I'm just like, well, this is really cool, and it felt really rewarding to beat a puzzle. Another thing where I really only played the first one. I don't know why. I just never got into the other ones.
Yeah.
Even though there's so many. But I'm kind of sad that I think they're kind of coming to an end with them.
Yeah.
So I hope Nintendo can do something with it, though. More.
I heard that they're making a new one, actually, but it's like a different one. But
that would be a cool one to put on the Switch as well.
Yeah, that could be a Switch game. That could also be a phone game. Like, it could work no matter what.
I think there is a phone game of some sort.
Yeah, it's a different thing completely. It's kind of a spin-off.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, if as a Nintendo published one, that could really work as literally bringing the next Layton game to phones. It would be cool. I'd prefer it to be like an actual Switch game, but yeah, keep going.
I just think Nintendo should take these opportunities to I guess they do, but I want them to capture it and make it feel like this really is their
Nintendo thing, yeah.
And that, I guess in that way
it has the legs, and it has a really great starring character, and it has something going for it where this could be like one of Nintendo's things, and it kind of was for a short period there.
Yeah.
And like you said, I hope it continues being so. It's awesome.
Okie doke. What's your second?
Okay, my number 2 is Professor Layton, The Curious Village. Love, 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 love this game. Obviously, it's my number 2. It's one of the most memorable games I've ever played. I think about that game once a week. I think about the Professor Layton series, just because the puzzles in it were so brilliant.
Yeah.
The stories were so good. I cared so much about the story going on in all these games. I played 2 of them. I played 3 of them. I beat 2 of them. I kind of got a little burnout because I played all of them in a quick little period.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of the reasons why. But it's such a fun game. It's a detective game where there's this big overarching story, and you got to get to the end of this story. You play as Professor Layton and his protege. Their interaction's really cool because Layton is like the ultimate gentleman. Like literally everybody needs to just watch him and learn how to be a gentleman and how to be a good guy. He knows how to fight for what's right when it matters and be a gentleman when it matters. And then you figure out everything through puzzles, and there's secrets and puzzles everywhere. There are people who always need help. That you go up to somebody in a shop that says like, I need help with XYZ, and then the puzzle is based on that. Sometimes the puzzles aren't really based on the environment. It's just a fun puzzle.
Yeah.
But that's usually somebody being like, hey, in these games you always suspend reality a little bit. Like literally puzzles are what everybody does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's one guy who's like, what do I do? I don't know how to like make enough soup for everybody. So you figure out the puzzle for that. And then somebody else is like, hey, I've got a fun puzzle for you. And you answer that puzzle. But they're so good. All the puzzles are brilliant. And there's such a wide range of them.
Yeah.
I can't really explain them. Some of them are just like numbers, and then some of them would be, a word puzzle type thing where like, Sally has 2 of these and da 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 da.
Yeah.
But then there's always pictures to go with it, so it doesn't seem completely confusing.
Yeah.
And then some of them are something that you do with your, like some of them are just like, what's the answer, A, B, or C? But then some of them are something that's interactive, like a maze that you have to go through kind of thing. They're so much fun. The music in that game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention.
The music in that game is so good. Like, they put so much care into it. And then they have these anime-style cutscenes that look incredible, that sound incredible. Like, I want to go back and play that game right now because I'm so excited about just talking about it.
If I listened to a song, I'd feel really weird.
Yeah,
like,
super nostalgic.
I gotta go back. Yeah.
It's such a good... I love that series so much. And I want that to come back, and I want it to be a legit Nintendo thing, like you're saying, because it deserves it. It's one of those games. It's so pure. The game is just so pure and good.
It is.
And the stories are so fun and interesting. And they created a world that like I care about, and I think everybody who played it instantly cared about it. And then created a gameplay hook that's just fun, and it's smart. I kind of similar to what you're talking about with the whole Brain Academy thing. It's like, I think that game, like playing that game, it stimulates your brain in the right way. Not just, I'm pressing A to slice this bad guy in half. I'm learning and I'm stimulating my brain in a way that I think is just helpful, you know? So it's awesome, and that's why it's my number 2.
It's a story. It's like reading a book, but then with puzzles and you're interacting. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great game.
Awesome.
So my number 1.
Ooh, here we are. What is your number 1 top 10 Nintendo DS game of all time?
New Super Mario Bros.
Cool. I figured, once I realized, I was looking at the list, I'm like, wait a minute, you still didn't
I think I know what yours is.
Oh, yeah,
too.
You do. Yes,
I know what yours is.
Yes, you do.
Anyway, great game. I remember this is the first game that I beat, like a first game that I beat 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Literally beating everything. I don't know how many games I've done that before anyway. Maybe it's the only one.
Like, because there was three golden collectible coins in every single level.
It was really simple. So for someone who wants to like beat a game 100% and you're like a little kid, it's great because literally it's just like, okay, I just need to get 3 coins in each level. Really fun. Also super cool like secrets. With like secret flags to get to. 2 of the worlds literally you can't even get to.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like a forest world.
Whole worlds that you can't. It's like an alternate path, kind of like if you guys played Star Fox, you would like completely miss a world because you didn't. Like, that's what it was. There's whole worlds that you could skip over, and you can go beat the game without ever playing them because your path took you to the water world as opposed to the other one that took you to.
And there were several ways to do that too. I remember, like you could go to a secret and get in a cannon, and it shoots you there, or you'd have to beat the boss mini with like a mini mushroom to get to the secret, like the other world. Yeah. I don't know what else I would say about it. Really cool like multiplayer. If you connect with other people, there was like these just separate mini games that you could just play.
Oh, so
that were
good.
Like
mini
really
games.
fun.
They're
you
awesome.
can play them by yourself too. It's like there's a lot in the game. Also, you can play like 2-player, like fighting to get like these stars and like these little maps. Yeah. Against each other. Great game. Super nostalgic. I used to play it a lot. First game to beat 100%, and it's one I hold dear to my heart for sure.
For sure. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely love that game, obviously, because it was in mine as well as my, number 3, I think?
I think it was 4.
Yeah, number 4, excuse me. But yeah, I absolutely love that game. Cool. So you know what my number 1 is, Micah. Oh, yeah. My number 1 is this weird game I never heard of before that really just I bought on a whim. I bought Professor Layton in the Curious Village and this game at the same time, and it was like the best 2 games that I've ever bought. I bought it before we went to a family reunion, which was going to be, I don't remember if it was Ohio or North Carolina, but it was
I think it was Ohio.
Yeah, it was going to be a long drive, so I bought 2 games.
I was playing Pokemon Soul Silver.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Rhythm Heaven. Rhythm Heaven is, in my opinion, the absolute best DS game, bar none. Professor Layton is close behind it, but Rhythm Heaven is just so fun. It's short rhythm games with fun gameplay, with catchy little tunes. Some of them have words, some of them are just music. Dun 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 dun, and like some of them like that, or some of them are with words, and like you said, they have the Wii version that came back and the 3DS version that you have that are awesome, and I love that series. But the DS one was super special to me.
Yeah.
I played that game so much. It was a challenge, and it was one of those games you can get an S ranking if you did really good, and if you got your S ranking, then you could go for a perfect later on, and going for a perfect was really tricky. You had to nail every single little base. It's really hard to even explain this game. It's rhythm-based mini games that some of them, you might play ping pong, and you hit the ball back and forth to the beat, or that's kind of an easy one to explain. Or it's a little machine that comes by and you press the button at the right time because it's like on a conveyor belt to slam it into the part. But then there's also ones that are like almost impossible to explain, where you're one of those weird statues from what's the island called, Micah?
Easter Island.
You're the weird statue from Easter Island, and you're just singing.
Yeah.
Like, and if you sing the note wrong, like a bird will crap on you.
Yeah.
It's just so weird and so Japanese in the best ways possible.
Yeah.
I remember like every single one of those songs. I got a perfect in every single game except for freaking what's the game? The ping pong level 2. What's the
I still
actual
don't
game
understand
called?
that game.
I forget what it's actually called. The ping pong one.
I forget.
Space pong. I don't know. Whatever.
It's the worst though.
It makes me so mad because I tried so hard to get it perfect on that one. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a stupid game. It lasted like 3 minutes too, so you would be playing it. Basically, you would play it if you got the S rank, then randomly every once in a while it'd be like, oh, go for perfect, and you would have 3 chances to go for perfect, and you missed it, then you missed your chance, and then like, randomly 20, 30 more matches from now that you're playing other games, it'll randomly pop up again and you can go for it again.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting. Like, oh, cool, I had the chance to go for perfect on this game. So many secrets in that game and like more things to unlock. Like it's like I said earlier, when you think that the game is done, suddenly it's like, just kidding, there's more.
Yeah.
And every single it's almost like there's worlds in a way. You would play 4 different mini games, and then the 5th one would be a remix of those 4, and they would always create this brand new song and remix them together, and they were just phenomenal. They were always really catchy, and
clever.
They brought all the songs together in like a super clever way that you wouldn't think they'd be able to pull it off. And then the last one is a remix of every single game, and every single one of those mini games is in one song that they all put together, and it sounds good. It's almost like the band Queen, where like all these sounds and tunes aren't supposed to go together, but somehow it does, and it sounds phenomenal. It's my favorite DS game by far. I love it so much, and I think it deserves more praise. It's also one of those underrated games. Like, yeah, everybody knows Mario Kart was great, and everybody knows the Castlevania games were great, and everybody knows that New Super Mario Bros. Is great, but like Rhythm Heaven deserves love, and it's my favorite game on the DS by far.
Okay.
Cool. All right, Mike.
That wraps that up.
Yeah, keep talking about something because I'm tallying up the points right now for what our mathematics are for the whole thing. If you guys have heard like a little marker going in the background, it's because I was like marking what everybody had, what he and I had, and we're putting the points together. So
I'm gonna take this chance to adjust my seat because my butt hurts really bad.
All right, so if you guys hear strange noises in the background, Micah's adjusting his seat because his butt hurts. Talk for a little bit while I do this. I'm halfway done.
I've also been playing Smite. I don't know if I told you that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
No, I never thought I'd play a game like that, but yeah, I don't know. Graphically, it doesn't look that good, and I don't know. When I see free to play, I'm usually like, but I wouldn't play it if I didn't play it with friends.
Yeah.
Play it with friends, and when you do that, it's really fun. Super rewarding. You can just play with like 3 people. So I was just playing with 2 other people, and when you play it like that, you don't have to worry about anyone else. You can kind of play it laid back, even though they're supposed to be more serious. But those types of games, you don't you take down one base, and then you're like, okay, we don't have to go for the next one right away. We can back up, level up, or get an item, stuff like that. So I enjoyed that. I haven't played in more Last Guardian since I last played.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing we were talking about.
Yeah, I gotta do that. Played a little more Bloodborne. I want to just finish one game because I kind of feel like I'm in the middle of like 2 or 3 games. I played a little Pokemon Sun on the trip over Christmas. That was fun. Pokemon game, but kind of like set in a Hawaii type place. So that's cool. Picked the little owl dude, grass owl, for my guy. I usually pick a fire one, but the fire one sucks this time. It's like a cat, but it ends up becoming like a muscular. It's like a Machamp, but a cat version. So super ugly. Really stupid. And it's like, why is it wearing a belt? I mean, I guess Machamp was from the first generation. Really shouldn't be wearing a belt either. But I don't know. The other one ends up being like some weird looking seal mermaid type thing. So I won't.
Okay, the list is done.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt you.
That was super long.
All right, so here we go. So, like I said before, if Micah had a game that, let's say, was number 10, then that would only count as 1 point. If I had a game that was number 7, that would count as 4 points. And then if they were on both of our lists, then you would add those numbers together. So here is the final list we came up with. At number 10, the 10th best game for the Nintendo DS, according to Words and Stuff, our podcast. The number 10 best Nintendo DS game of all time is Big Brain Academy. It has 3 points. You were the only one to put it on your list, but you had it in a prominent position.
Okay.
So that has 3 points, and it made it to number 10. There were 3 games here that were tied for the next spot, but I kind of changed it up a little bit. You'll see what I mean in a second. So that means that there is no 9th best game. It's the 8th best game, because there's 2 games tied for 8th, and that is Kirby Superstar Ultra and Castlevania.
Ooh.
They both got 4 points. They were both in the same position on our list. It was my 7th best game, and it was your 7th best game. So that gets a place on the list for that. And they're tied at the 8th best spot. Because there is no 9th best spot, because they're both 8th. If that makes sense. So the number 7 also had 4 points. But because it was on your list and on my list, I gave it a nudge above the other one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it was my 8th best game and your 10th best game, and that's Zelda Phantom Hourglass. Okay. It was your 10th best, right? I'm doing this right?
I think it was my 9th.
Wait, really?
Phantom
Look at your list. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 was, what was it called? Let me check real quick.
Unless I did my math wrong. Hold on.
Metroid.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense, because it was, Oh, yeah, I did the math wrong, so never mind. I didn't have to do the weird thing. So with 5 points, same thing. With 5 points, Zelda Phantom Hourglass comes in at 7th place. The 6th best Nintendo DS game of all time is Mario and Luigi Inside Story.
Okay.
That comes in at 11 points. The 5th best game is for the Nintendo DS is Mario Kart. Mario Kart DS. That comes in at 12 points. So that is the 5th best game. Pokemon comes in. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl / Platinum comes in at 4th place with 13 points.
Oh, okay.
Because that was the 5th best for me, and what was it for you? The 4th best for you, I think, right?
Yeah.
5th best for me, 4th best for you. So that comes in at 1, 2, 3, 4. The number 3 position is New Super Mario Bros. With 17, because it's super close to the next one. These are like a lot of high pointers right now. It was the 4th best game for me, but 1st best game for you. So that comes in at 17. And the number 1 is tied. Professor Layton and Rhythm Heaven are both tied at number 1, and I think that's kind of appropriate.
Yeah.
Like, I know you had New Super Mario Bros. As your number 1, but it kind of seems right that Professor Layton, Curious Village, and Rhythm Heaven are both tied for our number 1 games. We got them at the same time, and I feel like we played the crap out of them, and there's something truly magical about those games. So, cool. They both came in at 18 points, because I had it as my number 1. Rhythm Heaven, you had Rhythm Heaven as your number 3, and then we both had Layton as our number 2.
Yeah.
So they both come in at 18 points. Cool?
Yeah.
Sweet.
DS, great console. Definitely up there with the greatest of consoles.
Oh, so many amazing games. There are plenty of games that we didn't get to play that were awesome, and there are plenty of games that we did play that wouldn't quite make the list here. But the DS is one of the best consoles ever. It had a whole bunch of random shovelware because it blew up and everybody wanted to make games for it. but at the same time, it had plenty of absolutely phenomenal games. Both exclusive, Nintendo-produced games, and then third-party exclusives that they just saw this console underpowered, kind of crappy-looking graphics sometimes, but a really cool control screen with the 2 screens and the stylus and all that kind of stuff. So, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Let's wrap this up. It's getting a little
Yeah,
late
it's definitely
here.
getting long. Yeah. All right, Michael, what are you excited about?
I'm excited about... I don't want to say the same thing I said last time.
Yeah, whatever. If you're still excited about that, then go ahead.
I said I'm excited. Well, actually, no. Here's something that I was going to add, a news thing that I just thought about that I think I saw it like today.
Yeah.
We could have added it, but I'll just mention it now. Nintendo said that they're going to have 2 to 3 mobile games per year.
Yeah.
So that's a big news thing. I'm excited for that because I want to see. Hopefully, we'll kind of see ahead of time, kind of like with Mario Run and other stuff.
Yeah.
What they are. Fire Emblem, I think, and Animal Crossing are 2 like ones that we heard a while back that they wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So stuff like that. Find out what they do because if Nintendo's doing it, just like Mario Run, they're gonna do it right.
Exactly.
They're not gonna make it stupid. They're not gonna make it free to play. Hopefully not. And add stupid stuff to it, which makes it basically unplayable eventually, unless you want to purchase, Animal Crossing points or something stupid like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Fire Emblem like points, which sounds really retarded.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. I'm excited for that.
Cool. Game wise for me, I don't know. I finished up Hyper Light Drifter. And wait, you're excited about playing the game I got you for Christmas, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also for some reason already $20 cheaper Final Fantasy XV.
Oh yeah, you bought that, right?
What number is that? 16?
15.
15?
Yes.
Yeah, I got that. I'm gonna play that soon.
Cool.
And also Ratchet and Clank. See what I think about that. I didn't watch the movie, but I heard that was really crappy. So the game's actually good though.
The game's good, yeah.
And you bought me it, so you're not gonna buy me a crappy game.
No, yeah, I made sure it was a good game. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
No problemo. Yeah, I don't know what I'm excited about video game wise. I'm kind of just my brain's still super tired from Christmas and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to having an extra day off and then going back to work, which makes me want to cry. But video game wise, I'm not even sure. I'll have to think about it. I'm excited about January 12th or whatever for
oh yeah, that's coming up soon. That's what I was thinking about saying.
Exactly.
I think I mentioned that last time though.
Yep, exactly. All right, Micah, do you have your quote?
Yeah, sure.
You ready to
go? A penny saved is a penny earned.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Is that your quote?
Yep. Penny saved is a penny earned. Yep.
I thought that's a really cliche one.
Nope.
Well, but it's
it's very helpful.
It's true.
Very practical.
It's true.
Save your pennies. If you see a penny on the ground, you're like, just a penny.
Hey, Micah, do you want to go to the gas station and get a soda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. See you guys. Peace. My butt hurts.
Yeah, exactly. Words and stuff. Love you all.
Bye. Whoops.